Hello again, I'm Blunty. So, a couple of years ago the Nintendo Wii came out, and it was a risk at the time. It was an underpowered machine with a brand new control system that relied on motion sensing and waggling stuff around, and it copped a lot of flack for that, and I got called a gimmick, and, well, so did the Nintendo DS, but now that's a big hit, and now the Nintendo Wii is a big hit. It's outselling the other consoles hugely, and Nintendo are raking in the money with rakes that are quite a bit larger than normal rakes. They need huge rakes, extra large rakes, just to rake in the money that the Wii is making. And now that they've proven that people really like to play with motion-controlled games, you know, the Wii Sports, what I like to call the hyper-casual games, the games that gamers don't play, the games that the family plays, and you see the Nintendo ads with these bizarre-looking families and stuff, playing the Wii and all that sort of stuff, and, you know, Microsoft and Sony went, hang on a sec, we're missing out on some cash there. We could do this sort of hyper-casual motion-type gaming as well and maybe push it into the mainstream with some decent motion controls for the hardcore games that the hardcore gamers like to play and all that sort of stuff. We'll give it a bash. What have we got to lose? And so it will come to pass, but by the end of this year, all three of the consoles will have their own versions of motion-controlled gaming. Sony have got their little wand thingy that I don't think they've got a name for. It's been called the Gem, it's been called the... It's got a lot of different names people have been calling it. Whatever they wind up calling it, it's basically their version of exactly what the Nintendo Wii does. It works in the same sort of way. It relies on tracking the exact motion of a physical controller. It's got motion sensors in there, and it's the camera watches a little ball on top that glows and all that sort of stuff. And basically, it's Sony's way of doing exactly what the Wii does, because they know that works, but they had to find a different way to do it because Nintendo obviously have patents on how their system works. That's the safe bet. That's probably going to work really well. I mean, it's simple, it's elegant, it does what the Wii does, so there's, you know, if people do cross-platform gaming, and all the developers who've fiddled with motion control gaming on the Wii already know their way around it, so they can do exactly the same kind of stuff on the Sony. But Microsoft have gone just a step further, going, okay, well, if that works, we can do better than that. We're Microsoft. We got tons of money for research and development. We're swimming in cash. I mean, the Xbox is one of the only bits of our family that's doing really well at the moment. Zune, well, we've tried a couple of different ways to reinvent that, and now with the Zune Marketplace we're getting somewhere maybe, but the Xbox 360, that's where we're the strongest. And so they've come up with the Project Natal, or Natal, or whatever they want to call it, that name as well. Sony hasn't come up with a name for their thing yet, or not one they've released. And Project Natal, it's not going to be called that when it comes to market. It can't be. That's a ridiculous name. It means nothing. I mean, people aren't going to get that. They're going to have to call it something a lot more consumer-friendly to be able to sell these things. And that basically... You've got no controller. You are the controller, so says the press releases and all that sort of stuff. It's a couple of little cameras, and they see you and stare around. They track the motion of your entire body and skeleton and all that sort of stuff. And it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with that. There's lots of potential there, and I'm kind of excited to see about that. But where the Wii released with motion controls, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 did not. So this is an extra thing that people are buying midway through the console life cycle. For Sony, it's going to be fairly easy. It's just another controller, basically. That's probably going to be a fairly cheap option, and people understand that. They know how the Wii works. They get it. It's instant. They comprehend that. It's easy to understand. It's easy to wrap your head around the way that works. Whereas Microsoft option is just this sort of bar thing with a couple of cameras and a light that stares at you, and it works out where your body is, and you don't have anything to even hold on to. I mean, motion gaming suffers from a lack of physical feedback anyway, which makes it a bit awkward sometimes, but with no controller at all to hang on to, just pretending you're driving a car or something and kung fu fighting in your living room, is going to be a little bit ridiculous. Microsoft have got an interesting job to really market this thing to everybody. I mean, there are, last I heard, 39 million Xbox 360s in the world right now. How many are they going to sell? How many of these Project Natal bar things are they going to be able to push out to that customer base? People like me who are interested in technology, interested in gaming, are probably going to buy them anyway, regardless whether it wins or fails. I mean, I bought a HD DVD player for the Xbox 360, and within months that went south, so I lost out there. But who knows? I'm really interested in the technology, in Microsoft's more than anyone else's. Like I said, the PlayStation one's going to work. It's going to work well, because it does what the Wii does, and we already know the Wii works well, but Microsoft are taking a bigger risk with their Project Natal. But are hardcore gamers, are gamers really going to latch onto this stuff? What do you think? Do you want to be flailing around in front of your TV set trying to control, you know, Call of Duty 8 or you know, any of those type of games? Are you going to... I mean, the potential is exciting, but is it really going to work for the types of people who own Xbox 360s, the type of people who own PlayStation 3s, the type of games we like to play on those machines? Is it going to work? I'm asking you, if you own this machine, if you consider yourself a gamer, are you excited about having motion controls on these units? And I have my doubts. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about Project Natal just because of the new technology. I'm excited to see that in action. I'm excited to get my hands on it and have a play with it and explore the possibilities of it. But is it going to work? Are they going to sell enough of these things to make it a default option? I don't know. What do you reckon? Catch you next time.